Hey, what's up? This is me, JDS4696. Today I'm giving a trailer reaction for Terminator Genisys. Now this is scheduled to be released on July 1st of this year. And this is a reboot of the Terminator franchise, because you know they already had like 4 Terminator films. The Terminator, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, and then they had Terminator Salvation. So this right here is this is like the 5th film in the series, and this is Terminator Genisys. And Arnold Schwarzenegger again returns to the film series, you know, to like the role of the T-800. And this would be my trailer reaction for this film, you know, and I'm really anticipating this film, you know, I can't wait to see it. I have always been a fan of the Terminator films, and this is really, the Terminator films, were mainly Terminator 2, is the films that really kind of, you know, made me kind of get hooked on like science fiction, like, you know, like that crowd, you know, like the fanboy, basically, whatever. So yeah, this would be my like trailer reaction for like Terminator Genisys. Alright.
John, you can do this. You just go and you don't look back.
My whole life I prepared my son to lead humanity in the fight against the machines.
On this night, we take back our world!
But there was one thing I could never prepare him for.
The machines tried to rig the game, sent a Terminator back to the time before the war to kill my mother.
I'll go back. Let me save her.
Come with me if you want to live. Kyle Reese?
You know who I am?
We've been prepping for you to arrive for over a decade.
We. The Terminator.
It is nice to meet you.
I've been trying to teach him to blend in. I know it needs work. John,
Hi, Mom.
how can you be here? What are you doing?
John!
What have they done to my son?
Survival was what you taught me.
Where is he?
Get out.
I'm not machine. Not man. I'm more.
I can't leave him.
Whatever they did to John, we need a reversal.
Everything's changed.
We are humanity's last hope. Load up.
I've been waiting for you.
You gotta get him off me!
I'll be back.
What?
So that was my trailer reaction for Terminator Genisys. Now the premise for the film is that it takes place like in the year 2029, and you know, like John Carter, he's like the leader of the resistance, of course. He continues like his war against like the Terminators, the machines basically, which are led by like Skynet, I believe. But at the same time, like yet again, they have to send back they have to send like Kyle Reese, I think, again, like back in time, just like similar to the first one. So then it has like it kind of like, you know, it's jumping between like the first Terminator and like the second Terminator, basically, whatever, you know. I think that's probably why we have like an Asian T-1000, you know, this time, instead of like a Caucasian one, which was played by Robert Patrick, you know. So like in this new version, which is very cool to me, though. I like the concept of what's like going on like with it. It sounds very cool. They have sent like like I mentioned before, they sent Kyle Reese back in time to, you know, like prevent like Sarah Connor being terminated, but she was actually terminated in this storyline. The past, it was kind of like changed to a certain extent. Sarah Connor was indeed murdered when she was like a child. So at the same time, now Skynet has something like a T-1000 in times, you know, like back in past to eliminate Sarah Connor again. I think, and along with it's kind of confusing, but it's like it kind of connects with like the first and second one. It's like it's going between, like it's revisiting like the first one and the second one, because, you know, being that it's dealing with time travel, that's why it's kind of like the way it is. And I think that's kind of cool. Like, you know, that's why you see like images of, say, like Arnold from like the first Terminator and stuff like that. Or if we have like the T-1000, like I mentioned before, instead it's like Asian now instead of being like a Caucasian. Yeah, because like in the timeline of this film, the Terminator did manage to kill like Sarah Connor's parents when she was a child, but another T-800 was sent back as well to protect her, and it actually raised her up from like a child. So it was actually kind of different from like what happened in the first Terminator, when the Terminator was sent back in time, like the T-800 version, to kill Sarah Connor, but Kyle Reese came back in time and kind of prevented that, you know. And then it went into the sequel, which was Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and they had two Terminators sent back. They had like the T-800 Terminator, which was Arnold, you know. Then they had the T-1000 Terminator, which was played by Robert Patrick, like the liquid metal one, you know, that was like in the form of a cop. He was sent to take out John Connor, who would be like the future leader of the resistance in the future, you know, like in Los Angeles, like way in the future. Now he was sent to take out John Connor, and Terminator, like the T-800 was sent back to protect John Connor from that Terminator, you know. And I was on Terminator 2. Whereas in this film, you know, they had like the timeline was kind of like altered. It's not, now to me it's intriguing. And I have always been like a fan of like the Terminator film, so it's kind of cool seeing them mess around with the concept. And you can see how it can be kind of believable and kind of confusing to a certain extent, because it's basically just jumping between like the first and second one, because like the timeline was altered. So to me it sounds cool. I really am like looking forward to it. It's intriguing to me because I can kind of follow it and understand what's like going on with it, you know. But now at the same time, they have somehow John Connor himself has been turned into like a like he has been like converted into like a human cyborg hybrid, and he's like a new form of like a Terminator, you know, like kind of like they introduced, like said they did like the Terminator from Rise of the Machines, the third one, the TX I think it was called, kind of like that. This is like another new form of the Terminator, and it's in the form of John Connor. And I think this is going to be kind of like the villain of the film, but you also have like this new version of the T-1000 too. Well, it's the same T-1000, like liquid metal and stuff, but it's like an Asian guy in the role now as well, you know. But I think this film, I'm saying that they have like an aged Terminator now, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he just like old and stuff as the Terminator, the T-800. I think that's kind of like cool, you know. Then you have like the new Kyle Reese. He is played by cause you know on the original Terminator, Kyle Reese is played by Michael Biehn, but this time the new Kyle Reese is played by Jay Courtney. Then you have like Jason Clarke as John Connor, the human machine hybrid. Then you have Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor as well, you know. Then you have other people in this film too, like Matt Smith from like the Doctor Who like franchise, you know. And Courtney B. Vance as Miles Dyson. Yeah, Miles Dyson is in this again too. And then I think I know what's his name from J.K. Simmons. He's in here too as well as like a detective, you know. And the new T-1000 is like an Asian guy. His name is I think Lee Byung Hung or something like that. He's in this film like as this new T-1000. But yeah, it's kind of like conflicting with events that occurred over the first and second one. And I think it does have like a little hint of the third one in there too, Rise of the Machines. But anyway, I think this new trailer looks exciting, you know. And it actually looks better than the first trailer that they released for Genisys. I think this was more exciting looking. And it is like what my anticipation for seeing it, you know. So yeah, this is just my my trailer reaction for the Terminator Genisys. And in this film, you actually got to see more of the this new Terminator hybrid. That's John Connor or whatever, basically, you know. And it looks cool, you know. It looks cool. But yeah, so that's all I have to say on it right now. At this point, I'm really anticipating this film. I've always been a fan of the Terminator films. So this is JDS4696, and this is my trailer reaction for Terminator Genisys. Alright.